Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here. Welcome to another Artery Gear video. So this is my recommendations on Pavonis and whether or not you should be pulling for her based on what's coming up next, and also a unit review for Pavonis as well. So it's going to be a quick video for, especially for those of you that only play this game because you saw the Kyrie video or you noticed Pavonis is huge assets. The answer is very simple. Pull for her. She's your waifu. Do it. However, for the players that are more into the meta or want to think about long term, and then we'll go over her skill kit and we can discuss whether or not she is worth it. But let me just show you her SS S tier animation. Look at that. I see three large balls in this ultimate animation. Jokes aside though, let's go over her kit. Fun fact, she is actually the only unit that got an emergency patch to nerf her post buff. So this was the unit this was a skill rather, that was kind of nerfed, but we're still getting the post buffed version of Pavonis, but post buff nerf, if that makes sense. So this skill is a single target skill that has a 65% chance to land a single stack of burn, which lasts for 2 turns. And then each burn on the enemy will push her action bar by 10% up to a maximum of 30. So 3 burns pushes up to the max, right? However, this wasn't capped post buff. So basically, she could reach 100% action bar push, and then she would just go non-stop. Like no one else is moving; it's just her on the action bar, boom, 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 and then that had to be obviously nerfed because everyone just ran Pavonis in raid, and the raid boss couldn't move, and you automatically just get the highest score. Her second skill, every time Pavonis attacks with S1, if the target has a burn, then you follow up with another skill, which is the Golden Light. It's an AoE attack that does 53% AoE damage and also advances the action bar by 25%. So you can see with 3 burns, you're pushing 30 plus 25, which means that you always get a 55% push, meaning that your action bar is pretty much always going to be twice as fast as the enemy because you have half the distance to run, which is crazy. And of course, this skill also has a chance to burn. That lasts for 2 turns. So she's a very burn-centric unit, and that's what makes her really, really strong, because in raid later on, there'll be burn teams and debuff teams that you can use across all three of the bosses that secures SSS easily, which I'll showcase later on as well. But Pavonis is one of the units that can help out too. So for third skill, it's an AoE, as we saw in the animation. This is the post buff version because it removes 1 buff from the enemy, all of the enemy, before applying all the debuffs. So previous to the buff, it didn't remove any buffs, so you needed some way to get rid of the immunity. But now post, it does remove a buff. So if you go first, enemy has 4 sets of immunity on 4 of the units. You just remove all of them. Of course, there's 13% resist, and you need to go through accuracy check, but yeah, it's still pretty nuts. And then after that, you have a chance to, 100% chance to apply unable to heal for 2 turns, and then stun for 1 turn, right? So there's a control over there, and then also a 40% probability to inflict 2 stacks separately. What that means is it's 40% for 1 burn, and then another 40% for the other burn. So they're separate probability chances, and then those burns last for 2 turns. So you can see she will turn cycle super fast, because let's say you do this, you land 1 burn and you go through this, you burn, that's 2 burns, that's 20% push, plus follow up with the AoE, which gives you another burn, so that's 3 burns with a 25% push, and then you are already at that was a 45% push, right? And the enemy is stunned, so you're probably going again, and you're already getting the 30% into the 55% push. So very, very strong in terms of PvP. You can use her as an opener. You build her very fast with attack. You don't necessarily need crit or crit rate. Actually, you can do attack and then build bulky and maximize speed. That's another way to build it, because burns don't crit and they're based on attack. So the more attack you have, and it ignores defense, right? So you can technically forego crit and crit damage if you want to do like a maximum fast speed but super high attack, like attack flat with attack percent slot 5 slot 6. You can do that. And then rest on speed and bulk, or effectiveness, right? That's the stat accuracy to focus on. So PvP, she's not bad at all, but overshadowed by some of the other units later on. And PvE, she's extremely strong. Just being the natural AB pushing and the debuffing makes her super good. But as we know, after this is Lobelia, and Lobelia turns PvE modes into easy modes. So unfortunately, she's just in a very difficult place in my opinion. So my recommendations is, if you don't really care about Lobelia, or if you are just in the game for Pavonis, pull for her, absolutely. You'll have lots of joy and fun with her in PvP and PvE. However, if you're a meta chaser and you're not looking to spend a lot of money and you're saving for collabs and whatnot, then you can probably skip, because as we know, JP already had Shura rotate through the pity banner in the pity currency exchange. So we know that event units are starting to come through the pity shops, just like how it was on CN. So you can grab like Shura, later Nina, Cream, and all that stuff that you didn't get. So you can technically do that. But yeah, overall, I'll be pulling for her and showcasing her. I think she's very fun, huge assets, and the design is just mwah. So yeah, that's a quick review of Pavonis and my recommendations. Let me know if you'll be pulling for her in the comments, and hopefully I have some showcase videos for you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.